No, just the same bullshit that's turned my face camera off. Something updated in the background somewhere which completely fucked up my entire thing. Yeah, if it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck with this shit right now. This is also what you get when you're not able to use it every day. And you come back after, you know, OBS updates, then Twitch updates, then Windows updates, and then updates update, and then, you know what I'm getting at. You know more about this computer shit than I do, so you know what's going on. But just like last time, I haven't had a lot of motivation to work on anything. Working 6 days straight will fucking do that to you. They go to the Hornisse. They're the engine bells. Just throwing some gunmetal on the outside to give them the base color. I've been trying to work on stuff. Like, I did a little work on Deep Space Nine. Haven't finished anything though. I haven't really knuckled under and just laser focused on something. And I don't like that. It feels like it's happening more and more often lately. I can't remember where I put my blue tack. I had to hide it because Allie thought it was a toy. And we found it upstairs by the food dish. Well, me, it's more like, what do I feel like working on as well? you know? Something different, more of the same. And again, it's really hard to find time or motivation to do anything when you work 6 days straight and then you only get 1 day off. And it's like, yeah, I'll have 3 days off after that, or not 3 days, 3 days on and then another day off after that. But it's the inconsistency, the fact that you're tired, you're trying to get caught up on every other fucking thing you can't do. The only real time I have to devote to anything is when I'm on here. It is. All the more reason I wish I could just call all of my own shots a bit better, but gotta eat. And then within those days, your schedule shifts up and down, so it's like one day you can stay up later, the next day you gotta get up earlier, and it's like, what the fuck? There's just no regularity, and it's really... yeah. Alright, give me a second to clean this off. And we'll get to the next thing we need to do, or I want to do. And of course, the cleaner I need is other side of the room. Hey Alex, how you doing? But honestly, if things work out and Jen just comes down and says eject, guaranteed I'll do it. You know, if things work out with the changes coming soon. Other than that, though, how's everybody else been? Sorry to start out on such a downer. It's just how the past week's been. Yeah, at least you get to work from home. And I'm sure the people you deal with are a lot nicer and don't reek of booze and cigarettes and grease and crap. I think we're going to do 2 red stripes on the upper surface. Right? It's like, yeah, it's my day off, but it still doesn't mean it's not a Monday. So, I can only imagine what the rest of you are going through, but there's sometimes you just want to scream, stop, you know? And of course I just got silver paint on the bottom. We'll be able to fix that, though. Like, you want to know what's... And this happened last night, but I think it encapsulates everything. You know, you put in a lot of hard work. You're doing your best. You get through. You fight the boss. I was playing Stalker 2 last night, and I went up against the big bad boss guy, Korshinov, in his exosuit. And I didn't notice as I was fighting him, I got a bleeding wound. And it automatically went to the cutscene where Degtyarev tackles him and you shoot him in the head. And I bled out during the fucking cutscene. And then the game locked up. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything. It wouldn't let me advance, but it wouldn't put me back to the load screen. So now I have to redo all that. That's what it feels like right now. You kick ass, you one-shot it, and then... Fuck you! What kind of P-51? D? B? C? The D has a bubble top canopy. My brother got the decals for his model that he's making. No, I just shut the game off after that, because it's like, wow, I kicked ass on this, but you didn't think to program in the game to halt bleeding damages and things like that during cutscenes to allow your character the chance to heal after said cutscene. Because, you know, I got the game in December, and, you know, I'd really like to finish it after, you know, having restarted it 3 times because of, you know, fuck-ups and things like getting too far ahead in the story than you're really supposed to be. And it was one of those things where I got to the point where, like, I don't think I'm supposed to be here with my equipment. I don't know how I got here so fast. But it still allowed it to happen. Why does it look like it's sitting unevenly? Fuck it if it is. But yeah, that last night kind of just that put the pin in the past week for me. I'm like, yeah, that tracks. That's yeah. Kind of like, well, you did it all. Now you got to do it all again. Yeah, they did. This is more specific for the night fighters, but yeah. I'm just masking off enough to catch most of the overspray. Should I put a red strip across this hump too? Or no? You think that'll be enough? Because I still have to find some letters and numbers to put on it. Maybe those will go here. I think that'll be enough. Just red there, red there. Call it done. Oh, the Macross Destroy Girl kit showed up. Fucking box is huge. I'd rather have the red stripe. I don't know if I have red letters in the in decals that I could use. And that's if I can even find any. Outside of what the kit came with. Because we still have to paint the recessed area for the suit. I'm going to paint in here RLM02. And inside the suit itself. But just a little splash of color to give it a little interest. And we'll hand paint some rings on the suit, maybe on the legs or on the arms somewhere. So another thing happened over the weekend. I think it happened more like last week, but I didn't find out about it till the day before yesterday. Stabbing Westward dropped a new album. Was not expecting that one. Figure once they disbanded back in the 90s or early 2000s, that would be it. It's actually half decent. Most of the red first before we spray it. Red is an extremely insidious color. Like, I might actually go wash my hands after even using it just to make sure I don't contaminate anything else with it. Oh, Aries knows my history of the color red very well. I once trashed an entire Tamiya 1/12 scale Ferrari kit because of that color. Because it just did not want to work with me. Well, nothing had been announced that they were getting back together to do another album. Nothing. It just, bam, out of the blue. The whole thing's on YouTube, so check it out there if you want. Just look up Chasing Ghosts. It's Stabbing Westward, Chasing Ghosts is the album. It doesn't sound anywhere as depressed and emo as their late stuff in the 90s did. And maybe later tonight I'll tackle Stalker 2 again before I go to bed. Because once I beat the Korshinov boss character, that's when it's on to the final area. And I'm picking the Straylock storyline where he steps into the pod. Okay, let's see how much this bled under. Or did we get nice tight lines? So far, so good. I like that. The hell? I swear my phone's possessed. It just opened up into Messenger. Checking something out. Just hold on. Well, if you notice when I was spraying, hard to do in a thin area like this, but I was trying to not spray toward the line. I was spraying away from it, because if you look, it lifted here. But, since I was spraying away from it most of the time, it didn't bleed under too badly. A lot of it is more in how you spray than what you're spraying. You don't want to spray directly toward the edge of the tape. Yeah, those turned out pretty good. Give me a chance to clean what I can of the red off my hands to make sure we don't get any contamination. I found Lysol, their degreaser counter cleaner. Yeah, that works. Works really well for cleaning your hands of paint. So if you just want to scrub them down real quick, you don't have to go upstairs and hit the sink every time. And it removes the oils from your skin, too. I say that jokingly, as that's not always a good thing. Windex eats Tamiya, though. So... Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think what I'll do next is I'll get in here base painted, the color that I want. Or should I leave it black? How much of that are we really going to see? Absolutely none of it. So I'm not even going to waste time on that. We're just going to paint the suit cockpit. And I just put my finger in the chrome. Thought it was a lot more dry than that. We'll have to redo the chrome at a separate time. Come on, get off the model. There we go. Why does this song sound like cats meowing in slow motion? Yeah, whatever. I'll just leave it. But here we are, coming near the end of February. We got what? What's today? Got 4 more days in the month. Wait, so that means... Let me look at the calendar real quick. Okay. Model meeting's not till next week. Which is fine. Well, I wish I was streaming on just Twitch so I could play more regular music, but I want to keep the YouTube stuff going too. And how did my improvised inner cushion come up? Yeah, we'll make that work somehow. That, as far as I'm aware, is the only Machining Krieger video. The only legit one. And I don't think it was stop motion then, it was just all puppets. They built like a... They built a big SAFS suit. That was like Thunderbird's Argo level puppetry in some scenes. And that video in itself was just an experiment. I think it was done for a convention or something. Because I hate to say it, after building enough of the models, these designs have little to no range of motion, and to get them to do a lot of more dynamic stuff, you would literally rip apart the person inside. So unless you've got quadriplegics permanently mounted in, there's really no way these suits would actually work without killing the person inside it. But that's kind of the charm of it, is that it's just goofy sci-fi fun. It's not... It's supposed to feel realistic to the eye. It's not supposed to be real, you know? Now, there's only 2 other instances where I've seen Machine and Krieger in other media outside of the Nutcracker video. And one was the silhouette of a Croat walking. It was like, it was animated. It was for the opening credits of a B movie that came out, God, I want to say about 10 years ago. Bounty Killers, I think it was called. Let me check real quick. It was almost like a parody of itself, of the genre. And then the other instance of it was the head of a lunar Königskrot is in the wreckage of the Elephant Mausoleum on Forever Winter. Yeah, it was a 2013 movie. In the opening credits of Bounty Killer, you see this silhouette of a Croat firing and actually walking normally. Like you would expect it. Those are the only other 2 instances I've seen of Machine and Krieger in, like, popular culture that I know of. Like, undeniable. Oh, it looks like the movie's on YouTube. Give me a second to mute it. See if I can get to the opening credits and find that and take a picture of it. You'll see what I mean. Just give me 1 second. It won't take long. I need something laid back today too. I can't just be all hardcore model building arg, you know? Yeah, it's definitely a spoof movie, I can say that. I only watched it once. Was it in the opening or the closing credits? Could have sworn it was the opening credits. Maybe I missed it, maybe they took it out because somebody reported it. And Ko Yokoyama kind of stepped in. I don't know. That was the inspiration for this. I still need to build the antennas. Those are going to be the very last thing that I put on because I really don't want to break those off every 5 seconds. There it is. Really, camera? You're gonna do this to me? Oh, it's because I got the new phone. Sorry. Who dat? Yeah, it's a blink and miss it kind of thing, but it is definitely a croat. Anywho, we're gonna go with a we're gonna go with a red brown on the seat. We're gonna pick something different. I'd play Stabbing Westward, but I know that'll just get me snagged on the YouTube side. Then I still need to figure out the color stripes on the suit, where I want them and how I want them. And I think that's what you're saying about chatting. That's as much of a part of streaming as anything else. Especially talking to people outside of the people that I work with, you know? It's like, don't get me wrong, it is one of those rare instances where I work, we all get along surprisingly well. More trauma bonding than anything. But, you know, my wife's at work, so I can't go bug her. Sure, I could go somewhere, but do what? There's really not much to do this time of year. It's surprisingly warm today, but it's supposed to start raining. So, and yeah, it's all excuses. If I really wanted to, I could drive up to a reservoir near here, take some models and get some good low angle shots. You know, do some neat stuff with the models, and I'm gonna have to repaint that dashboard. Excuse me. And I know I keep the music real low on here too, but I need something to listen to, and I need something in the background to make the streams a little more lively, even though half the time I think you guys aren't able to hear it. We'll use some washes and some careful painting to make it look like two little areas that can be slid down into. Ugh. Landau is right before the HE-219 restoration at the Smithsonian is finished. Well, to me, that's what the hobby's really about. And part of my leanings, I guess you could say, is, I used to be on the Missing Links forums, right? And there you would have these people. Granted, their knowledge is great, you know, but they get so taken in by the exactness of detailing on their models and on the critiquing of others because of that, that it becomes disgusting. You don't sense that people are there for the hobby. They're there to bitch about how inexact the hobby is. Ow, I just hit the whole desk. Yeah! And that kind of, you know, you have somebody taking the latest kit that's out there, you know? And granted, there's a lot of shit that happens. There's a lot of bombs out there in terms of the overall detailing. Don't get me wrong. But if that's all you focus on, nothing will ever be good enough, and you'll wind up not doing anything. It's like, I get it. Like, take the black box Dragon T95 T28, the 4-tracked heavy assault tank, you know, the one that they lost the prototype in Virginia for about 20 years. When Dragon did it, instead of doing the proper research and seeing that the actual vehicle had a different width of track, they just looked at it and said, okay, it looks like the HVSS track from a Sherman, so they went with it. So it turns out the model's a little wide. You know what? Fine. But for those of us who just want to build a model and it's the first plastic T95 ever, let me enjoy my ignorance. Don't shit on my model when I post pictures of it, telling me how wrong it is when I have nothing to do with how wrong it is. It's like feast or famine, bub. I don't piss gold dust, so I can't buy the now extinct accurate armor version. So yeah, I just want people to come here and learn that you don't have to be exacting. You can be neat, you can be clean about your build, you can be any of that. But if it's only got 12 rivets or 12 nuts and bolts when there should be 13, but it doesn't matter because you're going to cover half of them with baggage and garbage anyway, you know, then why shit about it? Why make a stink? And these guys, you know, they complain to Dragon about the inaccuracies in their kits, which are almost hyper accurate to begin with. And then they wonder why next year the price of all the Dragon kits have gone up 20 bucks. Well, it's because they had to waste that much money the previous year fixing the molds for all the mistakes you made. They can't just go and recut that little part of the mold. They've got to go recut the whole mold. And half these changes could be made with a couple swipes of a file or an X-Acto knife. Like, one of the complaints was the angle of the viewport cover on, I think it was a 35th scale 250 new half track, where the viewport cover was like that big. I'm like, oh, you know, that's... Choose your battles, bud. That's not something you really need to be worried about. It's not like you grew a third arm or anything like that over it. But Dragon, they hang out on they hang out on those forums. They saw the complaint, they fixed it, and the kit, when it was re-released, was $10 more expensive. I'm not too worried if I got sloppy here. The underside of this thing's going to be a mess anyway. You got to think, it hovers. What happens to dirt when you blow on it? Even a dusty concrete pad like a flight line is a pretty nasty place when it comes to dirt. I'm surprised you got the DOS work one when Tamiya just reformatted their 16th scale Leopard to be RC A7V. But I'm done buying Leopard 2s myself. But yeah, you can buy yourself broke. Just, I don't know. I guess I'm really just tired of the hypocrisy in the hobby lately. It still persists. I've talked about this for years now. You know, somebody reviews a kit, say it's a wheeled vehicle. GTK Boxer, right? Doesn't matter the make. Great kit, fits together well, all the details there, but they can't resist saying something bad about it. Would benefit with resin tires. What? So I gotta spend another kit's worth of money just for resin tires? No. See, that's more of an opinion than a fact. The kit has no fundamentally, you know, build-breaking physical problems with it. So it doesn't need the resin tires. Well, the Tamiya one was just announced at the Nuremberg Fair. I didn't even know that Tacom was doing a 16th scale Leopard 2A7. That's a big model for a display piece. I mean, typically if a company's doing RC, or if they're doing a big tank like that, they're doing it RC. Oh, sorry, getting the hiccups. Not saying they're all doing it, but usually if one does it, the rest follows suit. Alright, so we'll probably do red, red, red. Excuse me. Hey, Loston. Yeah, things are going okay. Just ranting about, you know, what grinds my gears and, you know, the usual stuff. Yeah, I think that's enough. Yeah, exactly. You hit the nail right on the head there. And that's the thing, is a lot of these people that review these things, they've... Yeah, have a good day. They've been reviewing and building for so long, you don't know if they got spoiled by certain kits coming with aftermarket, or because they use it in their own builds, they can't resist but doing that. But to me, stop hitting the table with my chair, it's actually kind of off-putting to a younger modeler entering the hobby. Like, say they want to buy the Dragon Puma, the what is it, the 247, 274, one of the 8-wheel variants, right? There's nothing inherently wrong with the kits. What was I gonna do? Sorry, I just went stupid. Oh, that's right. I'm painting this just in case. I will be gluing it in place, but I don't know how much of that we're going to be able to peek at. And a good example of that kind of crap is my brother. When he was trying to get back into things, he's asking me all these questions about these techniques. And I'm like, dude, you haven't built a model since I was 8. And you're asking me about techniques that most people don't get into until they've got a solid grasp of the basics. You're asking me about post-shading and pre-shading and pre-chipping and post-chipping and all these fluids, and it's like, just build the model clean. Don't worry about weathering. Don't worry about wear, anything like that. Just build the model. Make it as clean and neat as you can. And then on your next one, that's when you try out panel lining. The next one, you try out pre-shading and panel lining. Build the skills in layers. Don't just try and learn them all and possibly wind up destroying a $40 or $50 model kit with some now rare, irreplaceable decals, apparently. Because super scale doesn't exist anymore, and the decals that I found can't be replaced. But he needed them because he wanted to build that specific plane. But that's besides the point. But that's the kind of shit people see when they go looking online for reviews and feedback on things, is they can't find a straightforward yes or no answer. They run the gamut of the basic builders who are like, yep, great kit, no problems, done. And then they run into the crappy kit, needs $100 of photo etch, resin landing gear, this and that. And it's like, it's a P-47 by Tamiya, guys. Come on. Being built by someone in their 50s who hasn't built a model since they were in their teens. And there's... I don't know, I'm trying to... Like, you see me doing stuff here, but is anything I really do beyond the bounds of a beginner in the way I do it, or the way I explain it? There are some things I do that it does take a little more skill or experience. Like, this didn't turn out as great as I want, but to anybody else, that would be fine. You know? And it's like, where is a place that new people to the hobby can go and feel welcomed for the most part, but also not like they're in over their heads when it comes to learning or relearning the hobby, right? Like, if somebody had never built a model these days, there's really no forum that you could direct them to where they would be able to get beginner's advice for beginner skill levels. And to help them understand that what they're seeing in the magazines, like when you see all these awesome weathered, streaked, chipped aircraft and tanks and stuff, that's not somebody who just started model building and after a month they're there. That's somebody who's been doing it for a few years at least, and that's the skills they've developed. Yeah, the wife got me a new Ma.K pen. Yeah, fresh Ma.K makes great chrome. I won't be able to install this until probably tomorrow night. Getting shaky. Might have to have a snack break here shortly. And I just had lunch before I started. It shows the kind of week I'm still recovering from. I think I even got a slight fracture in my heel. Yes. I need a sacrifice. Phil Flurry. Exactly, and I think you're talking about Flory of Flory Models. He does the panel line washes, the clay-based ones. If that's the person I think you're referring to. But he's not at all wrong either. He is not wrong by any means. And the thing is, a lot of these guys are so full of their own bullshit that they'll even rag on Tamiya models like their 1960s era Revell. Or like that one guy who did the video, he went and bought the old Tamiya T3476, the 70s vintage one that's, you know, it's not a terrible kit for what it is. It builds fine out of the box. Is it accurate by any means? Probably not. But it looks like a T3476 when you're done with it. And this guy felt so betrayed by Tamiya that he decided to make a rant video about it. When he knowingly bought a kit that was, you know, older than me. But he expected link-by-link tracks in it. Or link in length, at least. He expected photo etch and this and that. It's like, no. That is the ancient Tamiya T34. I don't even think Tamiya has a new T34. I think they essentially left the T34 business behind in the late 90s, early 2000s, they did like a update for a T-34-85. That was it. They're done. You know, they're on to other things. They're on to modern Japanese tanks and vehicles in 48 scale. But as far as the 35th scale T-34s, especially the 76, I don't think they've even looked at one in decades. Picking more music. But the only thing I could think of when I saw the video, I couldn't even sit through all of it. I sat through enough to know that it was not made in, it was not parody, it was not, drop, it was not satire. This was an honest-to-goodness person who went and bought a Tamiya T-34 without looking at the box, for one. He just went out and bought it. Paid Australian prices for it. But there was nothing on the box that stated that it did not come with anything but what was there. And then proceeded to make a rant video about it, like they had been hoodwinked or bushwhacked. I like the pattern that the mesh is doing on the video. Come on, autofocus. Play along. There we go. I think we're pretty close to clear coating everything for decals. Because I really don't want to put a lot of color onto this. I want to keep it gray and toned down. The chrome I'll retouch after I flat coat it, so that way it'll be shiny still. I shouldn't have done it to begin with. The suit will benefit more from washes and decals than it will anything else. So yeah, let's get a clear coat on this. But first, I'm going to take a break. Okay, Alex, you might be onto something. I went and looked at the leftovers from the Grocerhund. We have red numbers. And since it was so heavily Halloween themed, we have some coffin decals I could use on it too. Or the snakes. I don't know, what do you think? Maybe use the open mouth on the front of the suit here? Throw some ideas at me. Other than that, we've got these markings from the crotch and vocal. 35th scale, 35th scale. They might still come in handy. And these are actually from the Hornisse. I like the Grim Reaper ones. I don't think they'll stand out against the base color I've chosen, though. So yeah, I was thinking maybe... So they're too tall, they won't fit here. So, like, make it number 25, 25, you know. Put a coffin here. Too small. I was going to say maybe put the skulls here, side views. Maybe that on the front of the suit, though, right here. Or the eyes. Because other than that, we've got the... looks like a wolf head. And the old Totenkopf. Excuse me. And then this might be Friday's subject. Like I said, it's a big box. And I think it's the first time that the Koenig monster has been represented in kit form in plastic. Let's throw some clear coat, then we can throw some decals, and wash and wear. Oh, too bad they didn't have a 2 and a 5 on here. I could put them on the suit somehow. Let me get the instruction book out. You'll be able to see the entire artwork easier. No, Allie, you can't sit in this box. Yeah, it's the first time this has been in a plastic kit. There's been resin ones. I've got 2 of them. Do you want laser? Allie, turn around. And I'm also trying to not allow myself to fall back into the mindset of each stream has to be awesome progress, you know. That's kind of been hitting me again when it doesn't need to be. Are you thinking just the number 5? That way I can have the 5 there and then the 5 here on the side? Then same on this side? I know you're making a short circuit reference too. What I like most, I know it's Skywalker Red 5 as well, but there's also Johnny 5, you know, Short Circuit. No disassemble. I know the perfect thing I need for this. 1 second, folks. My wife got this for me for my birthday, and I've never used it. Let me get the belly painted. Oh, you mean the one I was doing last stream? Yeah, I gotta take it easy on that. I don't want to offend somebody, now do I? Making sure this is good and saturated. This stuff dries real thin, soaks in real tight. Oh, yeah. Considering that the actor wasn't even Indian, yeah. If you've ever seen the movie Hackers, that was the guy that was always riding around on a skateboard, the bad guy, the evil guy. That was the Indian guy from Short Circuit, Fisher Stevens. He was also in Super Mario Brothers, the '93 one. Hair. He even had a short-lived TV series for a while in the '90s called Key West, which is all about a guy who supposedly won the lottery, quit his job before actually confirming if he got the winnings or not, and drove down to Key West, Florida to restart his life. Well, that was also played by the same guy. Just trying to make sure I got uniform coverage. There we go. Right. Once I get the suit in place, I might drill holes through here into the suit and insert pins to lock it in place. I don't think glue is going to be enough. Yeah, this is going to take a minute to dry. Clean out the airbrush while we're doing it. Hi, Allie. I guess we can have a little cat time. I've got a clear space up here now. There you go, girl. Watch out. So I moved my in-room air filter to literally right there. So hopefully when I'm airbrushing like this, it'll start catching more of the stuff. I already think it's working in that regard. But pretty soon I've got a model I'm painting coming up that's going to be nothing but gold and a little bit of flesh. And for that, I'm going to need to paint it in my tent. Okay, phone, when I turn you off, I expect you to stay off until I tap on you again. Not because you're sensing movement. Another setting I've got to turn off. Hello, girl. What are you doing? No, this is just Windex. I think the big skeleton mouth will work good on the front of the suit, because that works if it's mounted on the craft or not. You know? Hi, little princess. Come here. Come here. Good girl. Is it snack time? I know I took my break, but is it time to get snacks? I might do another stream on painting her, or I might do it off stream to hide my screw-ups. I don't know yet. What? Over here. Oh, is it what? Yeah, it's lippy time too. May as well throw some free hugs in there as well. Timeout? What? Trying to keep your fur out of the clear coat, girl. Yeah, not bad for a little girl I found abandoned on a snowbank, all alone with her brother. Yeah. That's doing its thing. Move these over here. You over here. Nope, it's over here. Okay. I got you, my pretty. Yes. Hi. Do I want to Google that? We're gonna Google it and see what it comes up with. Well, apparently she's got an IMDb listing. Oh, yeah. No, we are not going to paint her like a porn star. No thanks. Watch your foot. So they call this color rust. It's a metallic color, almost like a light copper, which is perfect for what I want it for. We have a Frank. And then, nope, Arnie got down. I should have guessed porn star by that name anyway, but hey. My next stream day after today should be Friday. That'll be my next day off. Next week the same, Monday, Friday. And maybe one day soon I'll be able to make that jump between doing what I need and doing what I want. I wish I knew video editing, because I'd like to do my own like series of, you know, pre-shading made easy, you know, just simple stuff for beginners. Like we were talking about before. I know as much as I bitch about others emphasizing it, but there's no real resource to go to which shows just that. You know? I have no weekends, dude. Which is another thing that ticks me off. Very rarely do I get 2 days off in a row that I could take advantage of. Like, I don't know, replacing the dashboard in my car, which I've been wanting to do for 2 years now. I have the dashboard. I have the car. Oopsie. I don't know, maybe I should just murder out my car. Mask off all the windows and mirrors. Buy 3 cans of turbo primer, 3 cans of turbo black, and just black out the car. But black Camaros are so blasé. Says a guy who used to own a black Camaro. think I was spittling my paint that much. Who is that? Do we have a Frank in the chair? Hi, Frank. Yeah, we have a Frankie. Hey, big guy. Hey, Frank. Show everybody how much you've grown in the past 2 years. Come on. Nope, he's gonna hump the chair. There we go. Good boy. 2 years ago, you were a little kitten fit in my hand. Frankie. Right? Or yes, I answered the phone because I'm required to, but you could wait and see if I'm actually helping somebody else first. So I've been trying to get away from using oil washes, but I think this almost requires it for what I want. Right? What? What are you doing, bud? How is my little house tiger, huh? Yeah. What? Good boy. But I will use some of the acrylic washes I have on the engines, though. If I can see them with... I can't see through the cat right now. Hi. Can I look at my washes, please? Hey, Stinky boy. You gonna get back up on the chair? No, you're sitting? Okay. Why are we suddenly so interested in my wash? You've been up here when I've done this before. Look at the interest in his face watching me work. Is this what you guys look like when I'm working? Is that what you're looking at the screen like? This is how we paint things. You don't have thumbs like your brother, so you won't be able to take full advantage of this for another couple million years, but you'll get there. boy. The way he just went right into watches and I started painting this is weird. He's never done that before. So Friday, you guys want to see more on this, or do you want me to start working on the Macross character? Or something else? I can't fit Deep Space Nine under here and work on it effectively on stream. Just the shape of that thing doesn't allow it. I forgot to turn off the valve on my airbrush. It's got a quick disconnect, and on that disconnect there's a control valve. If I don't do that, the airbrush kicks on periodically. There we go. Maybe I'll find an excuse to use one of these things my wife got me. I don't know. I never liked these weathering makeup sets that they make. That's just a Hobby Lobby knockoff of the Tamiya one. I've heard some people can make them work. I haven't seen it in person though. No worries. I wanted to be on earlier today, but I ran into a lot of technical issues. So yeah, please go to bed, preserve your health. If it was the weekend, I'd say stay up, but it is not, so I completely understand. Because like me, you two will have to deal with people tomorrow. And if we don't get enough sleep, we might say the wrong thing to the people. we might be coming to a stopping point anyway. Between the clear coat needing to dry a bit more before I do the decals, and the wash on this drying before I can do much. So, but you have a good night. We'll see how I feel Friday, if I can get on earlier or not. Today I was honestly in a depressive slump, not gonna lie. Just angry for no reason, you know? But thanks for watching, and I will hopefully see you all Friday. I think we're gonna end things here, letting the wash dry. Next stream we'll probably start with the decals on and the flat coat on, so we can get to washes and weathering and good stuff, fun stuff. Yeah, it's been roughly a 2-hour stream. I think we've done what we can. It's 4 o'clock here. I got other things to do around the house too. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, and hopefully we'll see you Friday.